You walk into a dealership excited about the car you've been researching for weeks, ready to negotiate the best price possible. You spend 2 hours haggling over the vehicle price, feeling proud when they finally drop it by $1,200. But that hard-won discount barely matters because the real profit gets made somewhere you never see coming. Today, I'll explain how car dealerships actually make their money like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand where dealerships are actually planning to profit off you and why the sticker price negotiation is just theater. Most people think dealerships make their killing on new car markups. They don't. New car profit margins are razor thin, usually between 1 and 4%. On a $30,000 car, that's $300 to $1,200. Sometimes dealerships actually lose money on new cars just to hit volume bonuses from manufacturers. That shiny new vehicle isn't the profit center. It's bait. It gets you through the doors and sets up the real moneymakers. The dealership doesn't care if they make $200 on the car itself. They're planning to make thousands somewhere else. Most buyers have no idea it's happening because they think the deal ends when the car price is settled. It doesn't. That's just the opening act. The main event happens in a quiet office, after the handshakes, after the excitement, after you think you've won. Now imagine the car buying process like a play with 2 acts. Act 1 happens on the showroom floor with the salesperson. You negotiate the vehicle price, discuss your trade-in, and feel like you're in control. Everyone can see this part. It's transparent, and you're mentally prepared to fight for every dollar. Then comes Act 2. This happens in the finance and insurance office called F&I. This is where the real profits live. Most customers walk in there with their guard completely down because they think the hard part is over. That's exactly when they get you. The F&I department is where dealerships make their serious money. Not hundreds, thousands. The finance manager sitting across from you isn't just processing paperwork. They're a trained salesperson with profit targets that dwarf what the floor salesperson was chasing. Their job is to sell you financing, extended warranties, gap insurance, paint protection, tire coverage, and theft deterrence. Each carries massive profit margins. The average F&I manager has weeks of training specifically on overcoming objections and making add-ons sound essential. They know exactly which emotional buttons to push when you're exhausted from hours of negotiating. Here's where it gets wild. Even if you negotiated a great price on the car, the dealership can make it all back in about 15 minutes. Let's say you're financing $25,000. The dealership gets you approved at 5% interest through their lending network. But they don't tell you that rate immediately. Instead, they quote you 6 or 7%. That extra point or two goes straight into the dealership's pocket. It's called a rate markup, and it's perfectly legal in most states. Over a 5-year loan, that markup can generate $1,500 in profit the dealership gets from the lender. You never see it itemized. Then come the add-ons. Extended warranties sound smart until you realize the dealership paid $900 for a warranty they're selling you for $2,000. That's a 122% markup. Gap insurance covers the difference if your car is totaled and you owe more than it's worth. Sounds essential, right? Your own insurance company probably offers it for $40 a year. The dealership just charged you $700. Paint protection and fabric coating cost them maybe $100 to apply. They're charging you $1,200. Every single product in that office has a markup between 50 and 300%. This matters because these charges stack fast. You walked in thinking about the car payment, but the finance manager is adding $40 here, $60 there. They spread costs across the loan terms so each one sounds tiny. $40 a month feels like nothing, but $40 a month over 60 months is $2,400. Multiply that across 4 or 5 add-ons, and suddenly the dealership made $4,000 in profit from the finance office alone. That's why they didn't sweat your $1,200 discount on the car price. They're playing a completely different game. Here's the other thing most people miss. Dealerships also make huge money from used cars. Those trade-ins they lowball you on? They recondition them for a few $100 and resell them with markups between $3,000 and $8,000. Used car margins are 3 to 4 times higher than new car margins. The average used car profit sits around 15% compared to just 2% on new cars. When they give you less for your trade-in than you expected, they're setting up another profit stream you'll never see. That same car you drove in might sit on their lot a month later with a $5,000 markup. But even after all that, there's one more layer. Service departments. Dealerships make serious ongoing profit from maintenance and repairs. Those free oil changes they threw in to close the deal, they get you back into the service bay where they can recommend brake jobs, tire replacements, and transmission flushes. Some of those are necessary, some aren't. But once you're a customer, that service department becomes a profit center for years. The parts markup alone runs between 40 and 80% above wholesale costs. Labor rates at dealerships run 20 to 40% higher than independent shops. This is why dealerships push so hard to build relationships. Your first visit isn't just one transaction. It's the beginning of a long-term revenue stream that can generate $10,000 over a decade. A 2023 industry report showed the average dealership made just 1.2% profit margin on new vehicle sales. Meanwhile, F&I products generated 2.3 times more profit per vehicle. Service and parts departments contributed margins above 40%. Used cars brought in over twice the profit of new cars. The new car you came to buy is literally the least profitable thing the dealership sells. Everything else is where the real money lives. So what does this mean for you? Walk in aware. Get pre-approved financing from your bank or credit union before you ever step into a dealership. When you have your own rate, the finance office loses its biggest profit lever. They might still offer you a better rate, but now you have leverage. Say no to anything you don't fully understand. If the finance manager can't explain what gap insurance actually covers in 10 seconds, you don't need it. Slow down the paperwork. Dealers count on you being tired and excited and ready to sign. Take your time. Read every line. Ask what every charge means. Once you realize the car price is just the opening act and the finance office is the main event, you take back control. You stop celebrating a discount on the vehicle and start protecting yourself from the markups that actually matter. You start asking about the interest rate before they quote it. You start declining add-ons that sound urgent but aren't. You start understanding that the person across the desk isn't just helping you with paperwork. They're selling you products with massive profit margins. The system isn't designed to be transparent. It's designed to be overwhelming. Dealerships know most people hate negotiating and just want the process over with. They use that exhaustion against you in the finance office when your guard is down. But now you know where the real money gets made. You know why they're so willing to negotiate the car price. You know what questions to ask and what red flags to watch for. So let me recap. New car margins are razor thin at 1 to 4%. Dealerships use new cars as bait. The real profit comes from the F&I office through rate markups, extended warranties, gap insurance, and protection packages. Used cars generate 3 to 4 times more profit than new cars. Service departments become ongoing revenue streams for years. The average dealership makes more than twice as much profit from financing and add-ons than from the actual vehicle sale. Walking in with your own financing, saying no to unclear add-ons, and reading every line of paperwork are your best defenses. So here's the real question. Should dealerships be required to disclose their exact profit on every product they sell you in that finance office? Or is it your job to walk in educated enough to ask the right questions?